Men will risk everything if you do this. Respect his mission. Listen to me. When a man feels like you see his purpose, that you believe in his grind, he'll move mountains for you. People crave to be seen. Men are no different. Be unapologetically authentic. Drop the mask. When you show up as you, not some curated version, you give him permission to drop his armor too. That's rare. And rare is irresistible. Challenge him. Don't chase him. Men don't want easy. They want meaningful. And meaningful means you have standards. You want him? Great. Make him earn it. That's when it matters. Give him peace, not pressure. There's power in being his calm and being his cause. The world is already beating him up. If he finds peace in you, he'll protect that with everything he's got. Support without losing yourself. Support doesn't mean shrinking. It means you both rise. He'll go all in for the woman who walks beside him, not behind him, not beneath him, beside him. Make him feel like a hero, not because he needs saving, but because every man wants to feel like he's winning at loving you. Let him show up. Let him lead sometimes. That's fuel for a masculine soul. Speak with intent, not emotion. Reacting is easy. Responding with clarity. That's power. When you communicate with respect, not drama, you become unforgettable. Have your own life. You're not a puzzle piece. You're a whole damn picture. Men are drawn to women who are in motion. Purpose is magnetic. Don't orbit his life. Build yours. Don't just look good, feel good. Confidence isn't about a dress size or a lipstick shade. It's energy. When you feel good in your skin, when you radiate joy, he notices. Everyone does. Believe in his potential out loud. Speak life into him. Say what you see. When you believe in his future like it's already here, he'll start chasing it like it's real. That belief, that's what makes him risk ITL. Listen, we all want to feel like what we're doing matters, that we're not just clocking in and out of life. And when a man is chasing something, his dream, his career, his hustle, he's not just doing it for himself. He's doing it to prove something, to the world, to his past, sometimes to himself. And when you show up and see that drive in him, that's fuel. That's rocket fuel. Most people walk right past ambition like it's invisible. They don't notice the long nights, the sacrifices, the inner battles. But when you look a man in the eye and say, I see what you're building and I believe in it, you're not just saying words. You're giving him oxygen. Because let me tell you, belief is a rare gift. And when it's genuine, it sticks. He doesn't need you to fix it. He doesn't need a cheerleader with pom-poms. What he needs is presence. That solid, steady belief in the background that whispers, I trust you. I know why you're doing this. Keep going. That's more powerful than anything you could ever shout from a rooftop. Respecting his mission doesn't mean losing yours. It means understanding that both of you are chasing something. And when you respect his purpose, you create alignment. You build a space where both visions can breathe, where they don't compete, they complement. There's something magnetic about being with someone who doesn't just tolerate your passion, but actually honors it. That's the secret sauce. It's not about agreeing with every detail. It's about understanding the why behind it. When you get that, he feels like he's not fighting alone. You know what shuts people down? Doubt, dismissiveness. That's subtle. You're doing too much energy. And if he starts feeling that from the person he trusts the most, that's where it crumbles. But when you lean in, not with control, but with curiosity, you become the safest place he knows. There will be days when the mission feels impossible, when nothing is going right and he questions if he's built for it. That's when your belief really matters. Not when he's on top of the world, but when he's on the floor, wondering if this is worth it. Your voice in that moment. That can be everything. You don't have to fully understand the mission to respect it. You just have to see him. The fire in his eyes, the weight he's carrying, the intention behind his grind. You don't have to carry it for him, but damn, if you stand beside him while he carries it, he'll never forget you. Let him talk about it. Ask questions. Make space for the messy ideas and the half-formed dreams. Because when a man is allowed to dream out loud with someone who doesn't laugh or shut him down, that's where bold things begin. That's where risk becomes reward. And here's the truth. When a man feels like his mission matters to you, he locks in. He commits deeper. He takes risks with more courage, not because he needs you to approve of it, but because your belief makes him braver. That kind of partnership, it's rare, but when it's real, it's unstoppable. Let's cut to it. Pretending is exhausting. And we do it all the time, don't we? Editing ourselves, shrinking, filtering, saying what we think they want to hear. But that version of you, it's not sustainable. And it's not magnetic. What is magnetic is when you show up raw and real without apology. People can feel when you're faking. And here's the thing, you don't need to perform to be worthy. You don't have to dim your weirdness, your loud laugh, your passionate opinions just to keep someone comfortable. When you own exactly who you are without asking for permission, you create a space where authenticity thrives. And it's not just about confidence, it's about honesty. It's about saying, this is me. Take it or leave it. That kind of energy, that's rare. That's rare. And that makes people lean in. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. Real is refreshing in a world full of filters. When you stop trying to be what you think he wants and instead just be, you give him the freedom to do the same. And that's where intimacy actually starts, not in the highlight reels, but in the messy, unpolished, vulnerable truth of who you are. You want someone to fall in love with the real you, not the representative you send on the first few dates. Because if you're playing a role, you're going to have to keep playing it. And eventually that mask slips. Wouldn't you rather be chosen for who you truly are? Authenticity doesn't mean chaos or oversharing every second. It means alignment. It means your outside matches your inside. It means your words match your values. When you walk in that kind of integrity, people feel safe around you because they know where you stand. Here's the truth. Not everyone's going to get you. Not everyone's supposed to, but the people who do. They'll stick. They'll lean in closer, not pull away. Because when you show up as your full, unapologetic self, you attract people who are aligned with your soul, not your image. And when it comes to men, they may not say it out loud, but they crave realness. They crave depth. They want someone they can exhale around, someone who isn't trying to be a carbon copy of everyone else. When you drop the mask, you invite connection, real connection. So stop apologizing for the parts of you that make other people uncomfortable. Your softness, your strength, your opinions, your boundaries, they're not too much. They're you. And the right person won't just accept it, they'll respect it. Because at the end of the day, authenticity is the one thing nobody else can replicate. You can lose looks, titles, attention, but your truth, that's untouchable. And when you live in it loud and clear, you don't chase love, you attract it effortlessly. Let's get something straight. Chasing doesn't build connection. It builds imbalance. And you are not meant to chase anyone. You are meant to attract, to inspire, to challenge. Because chasing says, I need you. Challenging says, I see my value and I'll make space for someone who sees it too. There is power in being the woman who knows her worth so deeply. She doesn't beg for love, she expects alignment. When you set a standard, when you hold a boundary, when you say, this is how I deserve to be treated, you're not being difficult, you're being clear. And clarity is attractive. Men don't want to win a participation trophy. They want to earn respect, love, trust. That's what gives it meaning. If you hand over your energy too quickly, too easily, without making sure it's being received, with care, you're not building love, you're building resentment, because deep down, you know you gave too much without getting enough back. There's a difference between being open and being available to anyone. Being open means your heart is ready. Being overly available means your standards are asleep. Wake them up. Because when a man sees that he has to show up, not just slide in, he'll either rise or reveal he was never ready to begin with. Challenging him doesn't mean playing games, it means being real. It means asking deeper questions, holding space for growth, calling out the inconsistencies, not letting potential distract you from patterns. That's not harsh, that's honest. That's love with vision. Men rise when they're inspired, and inspiration comes from being around someone who doesn't hand everything over on a silver platter, who says, I want you, but not at the cost of my peace, not at the cost of my standards, not at the cost of self-respect. That is the kind of energy that makes a man level up. You are not a prize to be chased like a game. You are a partner to be chosen, cherished, and respected. If he's serious, he'll show it. If he's ready, you won't have to wonder. But he can't rise if you're constantly lowering the bar just to keep him interested. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is pause. Pull back your energy. Let the silence speak. Because when you stop overgiving and start receiving, you learn a lot. You see who steps up and who disappears. And that's valuable information. That saves you time and heartache. There's a version of you that never chased. She walked in the room, knew what she brought to the table, and expected someone to match her energy. Not match her effort, match her intent. Get back to that. That's the version of you who built empires, not just connections. At the end of the day, meaningful relationships are built through mutual pursuit, not a one-sided sprint. And when you challenge him, you give him the opportunity to earn his place in your life. Not because you're difficult, but because you're worth it. Every damn step. Every man walks out into a world that demands, questions, pressures, and sometimes even breaks him down. He's navigating expectations, responsibilities, and the quiet fear of not being enough even when he won't say it out loud. So when he comes home to someone who brings more pressure than peace, more noise than stillness, it doesn't feel like love. It feels like another battlefield. You don't have to fix his life. You don't have to take on his burdens, but you can be his place to breathe. You can be the pause between the chaos. Because when a man finds calm in your presence, not just comfort, but genuine emotional safety that becomes sacred, he'll protect that space like his life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Pressure doesn't motivate love. It suffocates it. Constant criticism, comparison, or demands don't push him to rise, they push him to retreat. but peace. Peace draws him closer. Peace says, you don't have to perform here. You just have to be. And for a man who carries the weight of the world, that kind of energy is rare and unforgettable. Being his peace doesn't mean silencing yourself. It means choosing the right moments. It means being intentional with your energy. When you learn to communicate with care instead of control, when your words heal more than they hurt, you become his reset, his soft place to land when everything else feels hard. Let him rest in your presence. Let him laugh without having to filter it. Let him feel safe showing the parts of himself he hides from everyone else. That version of him, the one he doesn't even show the world, only comes out when he knows he won't be judged, when he knows he's held, not managed. There's a difference between challenging someone to grow and pushing them into panic. Know the difference. Men thrive in relationships where they are encouraged, not micromanaged, where they feel trusted, not tested constantly. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. If he sees that being with you brings clarity instead of confusion, lightness instead of weight, he'll come closer. He'll choose that space over and over again. Because peace is not passive, peace is powerful. It rebuilds. It restores. It's what keeps love alive when everything else gets loud. You want to know why some men stay and some leave? Look at how they feel in your presence. Not how you look, not what you give, how you make them feel. And if the answer is calm, seen, understood, you've already won. Because the world doesn't offer that often. Stop thinking you need to be louder, bigger, more on to keep his attention. Sometimes the strongest thing you can be is soft, still, solid. His peace doesn't come from your perfection, it comes from your presence. You're quiet, grounded, don't need to prove anything energy. Because at the end of the day, the right man isn't just looking for excitement, he's looking for home. And when he finds that in you, that peace, he won't gamble with it. He'll protect it, prioritize it, and pour right back into it. Every single time. Support is not silence. It's not shrinking your light so his can shine. It's not abandoning your goals just to clap for his. Real support. That's mutual elevation. It's standing tall in your own purpose while cheering him on in his. It's saying, I've got your back without losing your own direction. Too many people confuse support with sacrifice, the kind that costs you your identity. But you weren't made to disappear in someone else's dream. You were made to bring your full self to the table. Because the woman who stands strong in who she is, she doesn't just support her partner, she challenges him to grow too. When you walk beside someone, it means you're pacing with them, not chasing them, not pulling them, walking with them. That kind of partnership, that's where real strength is built, where you both hold each other accountable, where you both celebrate each win together. You can love someone deeply and still protect your own vision. You can be present for their journey without pressing pause on your own. And when you live that way, you show him what partnership really looks like, not dependency, not control, but two whole people choosing to rise side by side. If your support requires you to abandon yourself, it's not support, it's surrender. And you were not built to surrender your essence for anyone. The right relationship doesn't require that. It encourages you to be more of yourself, not less. There's a reason men respect women who have something of their own, a mission, a passion, a presence, because it shows self-worth. It shows that you're not attaching your identity to his journey. You're bringing your own path and walking it boldly with love and purpose. Real support is asking, how can I help? Not who do I have to become to keep him? It's knowing you're enough exactly as you are and still choosing to grow not for him, but with him. That difference, it's everything. And yes, there will be seasons where one of you carries more, where one dream takes center stage. That's normal. But the foundation should never be imbalance. It should be rooted in mutual respect. Because when you walk beside a man as an equal, you show him what true connection looks like, grounded and elevated all at once. Stop thinking you have to downplay your brilliance to make someone else feel big. The right man isn't intimidated by your shine. He's inspired by it. He doesn't want someone to follow him blindly. He wants someone to build with him, to hold the vision, to fuel it, to stand firm in her own. So be the woman who supports fiercely, fully without erasing herself. Be the woman who claps, who lifts forward, but always with both feet planted in her own life. Because when you rise together, that's not just love, that's power. There's something deep in the core of a man that longs to feel capable. Not because he's insecure, not because he wants control, but because being able to provide, protect, and show up is hardwired into how many men express love. And when you let him be that, when you let him win with you, you awaken something powerful. Let's be clear, this isn't about stroking egos or playing weak. It's about allowing him the space to contribute. When you always do everything, fix everything, lead everything, even with the best intentions, you leave him standing on the sidelines. And eventually, he starts to wonder if there's even a place for him in your world. Men don't want to be managed. They want to be needed, not in a desperate way, but in a meaningful way. They want to feel like their presence, their actions, their choices matter. So give him room to show up. Ask for his help. Let him take the reins sometimes, even if you could do it faster or better. It's not about efficiency, it's about connection. You don't lose your power by letting him lead in moments. You expand it. Because true strength is knowing when to receive, not just when to give. It's knowing that partnership means balance. Sometimes you're the hero. Sometimes he is. But he can't be either if you're always holding the sword. Tell him when he does something right. Don't assume he knows. Praise isn't weakness, it's nourishment. When he feels appreciated, not just tolerated, he steps up even more. That little thank you, that I love the way you handled that, it lands deeper than you think. Because in a world that criticizes men constantly, your affirmation is gold. Let him solve problems. Let him offer solutions. Don't always shoot them down just because you do it differently. Sometimes the win isn't in the result, it's in how he feels showing up for you. You don't have to agree with everything, but you can honor the effort. And don't confuse leadership with dominance. Letting him lead sometimes isn't about control, it's about trust. It's saying, I believe in your judgment. I see your strength. I'm not afraid to lean on you. That kind of trust, it builds loyalty, it builds love, it builds legacy. You want him to feel like a hero? Let him protect you emotionally. Let him show up when you're overwhelmed. Let him step in, not because you're helpless, but because you trust him enough to receive. That feeling of being counted on. That's what fuels him. The truth is, every man wants to feel like he's winning in love, not performing, not competing, winning. That means his effort is seen. His love is landing. His presence is valued. And when he feels that from you, he'll go to war for your peace. So drop the need to control every detail. Let him show up his way. Let him lead where he's strong. Let him rise, because when a man feels like a hero in your world, he'll move mountains to stay in it. Not for the title, but for you. Emotions are real, and they matter, but when they run the show, clarity goes out the window. And the truth is, most conflict doesn't come from what was said. It comes from how it was said. When you choose intention over impulse, you change the whole dynamic. You shift from chaos to connection. It's easy to lash out when you're hurt, to raise your voice, to drop sarcasm or silence like weapons. But none of that builds trust. What builds trust is communication that's grounded, not guarded, not explosive, not manipulative, just clear. And when you speak from that space, that's when he hears you. You don't have to scream to be powerful. You don't have to cry to be taken seriously. Your voice carries weight when it's steady, when it's rooted in truth, and when it's delivered with care. That kind of presence commands attention, not through force, but through respect. When you pause before responding, you take back control. You stop letting the emotion own you and start using it as data. What am I really feeling? What do I actually want to say? That second of awareness. That's where growth lives. That's where relationships are saved instead of scarred. Men, just like women, get overwhelmed by emotional intensity, especially when it feels unpredictable. But when you speak with calm conviction, when you express your needs clearly instead of creating confusion, you become a lighthouse, a steady signal in the storm. And trust me, he won't forget that. It's not about being emotionless. It's about mastering the message. Say how you feel, but say it with direction. Instead of you never listen to me, try I feel unheard when I don't get a chance to finish my thought. Instead of you're so selfish, try I need more partnership from you. One shuts down. The other opens doors. Men respect women who can hold space for both emotion and logic. It shows maturity. It shows strength. And it creates a space where both people can be vulnerable without fear of things blowing up. That's where intimacy deepens. That's where understanding blooms. And listen, it's not just about him hearing you. It's about you feeling heard. And when you speak with intention, it's easier for him to lean in. He's not dodging emotional landmines. He's meeting you where you are because you're guiding the conversation instead of losing yourself in it. The most unforgettable women are the ones who know when to hold fire and when to drop truth not as a weapon, but as wisdom. They speak with clarity, not chaos, with directness, not drama. And because of that, their words don't just land, they stay. You want a man to really listen. Speak from your center. Own your truth without attacking his. Lead with clarity, not just feeling. Because when you show him that conversations with you are safe and strong, he'll come back to the table. Every single time. Let's get this straight. You weren't born to revolve around someone else's story. You have your own passions, your own goals, your own path. And when you stay in motion, when you keep building, even when love walks in, you become absolutely magnetic. Because there's nothing more attractive than someone who's already full, not waiting to be completed. A relationship shouldn't consume your identity. It should complement it. If you drop your friends, your hobbies, your dreams just to sit around and wait for his next move, you're not in love, you're in limbo. And that energy, it's heavy. It's draining. It doesn't spark desire, it smothers it. Healthy men are inspired by women who have their own thing, who are lit up by something beyond the relationship. It doesn't matter what it is, building a business, writing a book, dancing every Thursday night. It's the aliveness in you that draws him in. That's what keeps the mystery, the fire, the pull. When you orbit someone else's life, you lose your center. You start adjusting to their pace, their plans, their priorities, and before you know it, you forget what lit you up before they even showed up. That's a fast track to resentment, to dependence, and eventually to burnout. Having your own life doesn't mean you're unavailable. It means you're anchored. It means you're not texting all day because you're building something. It means you're not obsessing over his every move because your own path is busy and beautiful. And guess what? That makes you even more interesting to him. You want to be chased, be in motion. You want to be respected, stand grounded in your own identity. When you do that, you show him and yourself that love doesn't have to mean losing yourself. It means expanding who you are, not shrinking it. There's real power in saying, I want you in my life, not because I need you to complete me, but because I built something amazing and I'd love to share it. That's the energy of a woman who's not waiting. She's living. And when a man sees that, he either levels up or gets left behind. Don't press pause on your purpose to prove your love. The right person doesn't want your silence, they want your spark. They want to see you in your element, fully alive, fully engaged in the life you're creating. That's what keeps a man leaning in. Not neediness, not absence, not pressure, passion. So build your world, fill your calendar, keep evolving, let him meet you in motion, not in waiting. Because when you're already whole, already in love with your life, you stop begging for attention and you start choosing who gets access to your orbit. Because the truth is you're not a background character in his story, you're the lead in yours. And when you live like that, that's when the right man sees you, respects you, and rises to walk beside you. Not because you chased him, but because you never stopped chasing you. Looking good can turn heads, but feeling good, that shifts rooms, because confidence isn't about what's on the outside. It's not the dress, it's not the lashes, it's not the angle of your selfie. It's the way you walk into a space like you belong there, like you're not waiting for permission to shine. That's what people feel before you even speak. When you feel good in your own skin, you stop trying to prove yourself. You stop chasing validation. You show up full, centered, and grounded, and that kind of presence is electric. It doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need a filter. It just is. And people notice. Men especially notice. We've been sold this lie that confidence comes after the glow up, after the weight loss, the wardrobe change, the perfect routine. But here's the truth. Confidence doesn't come after the result. It creates the result. It's an inside job. It's choosing to love your body while you're evolving it. It's choosing to radiate before the world gives you a reason. When you feel good, your standards shift. You're not available for crumbs. You're not anxious about whether he'll text back because you've built a life, a mindset, a vibe that already feels rich. And when you carry that energy, you attract people who want to pour into it, not drain it. And yes, take care of yourself. Move your body. Eat like you love yourself. Dress in a way that mirrors how you want to feel. Not for the compliments, but because you deserve to look in the mirror and like what you see. That's not shallow. That's self-respect. Men are drawn to women who radiate joy, not perfection joy, that little laugh that comes from your belly, that glow that comes from being aligned, that peace that comes from no longer competing with anyone, not even yourself. When you step into that space, you stop being an option, you become unforgettable. Because confidence isn't just sexy, it's magnetic, it's healing. It says, I'm not here to impress, I'm here to express. And that makes people lean in. That makes a man sit up and take notice. Not because you're the loudest, but because your energy doesn't lie. You're not just a look, you're a vibe. And that vibe comes from how you treat yourself, from the way you speak to yourself in the mirror, from the boundaries you hold, from the way you celebrate yourself in private, not just when someone's watching. So, no, it's not about having it all together. It's about feeling together. It's about coming alive from the inside out. That kind of beauty doesn't fade. That kind of woman doesn't chase, she attracts. And that kind of confidence, it changes the game for you and for anyone lucky enough to know you. There's something deeply powerful about believing in someone not just as they are, but as they could be. And when you speak that belief out loud, you don't just see his potential, you give him permission to see it too. You don't just encourage him to dream, you affirm that he's capable of making those dreams real. Men, just like anyone, need someone who sees beyond their present, beyond their flaws, beyond the doubts they may carry. And when you speak life into him, when you tell him, I believe in you, I see your vision, I know you're capable of more, that belief plants a seed. And that seed, it grows into action. It's not about blind faith or empty praise. It's about seeing his heart, his effort, and his untapped potential and saying it out loud every day. You have no idea how much that can shift his energy, his mindset, his trajectory. Your words become the fuel he didn't know he was missing. They become the motivation he didn't know he needed. Because the truth is, most men are waiting for someone to believe in them before they fully believe in themselves. And it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. When you believe in his future, you don't just talk about it in passive terms. You speak with certainty. You speak like it's already unfolding, like success is inevitable. And when he hears that from you, he feels seen, he feels known. And more than that, he feels empowered. Think about it. How often do men hear words of affirmation that don't come with an agenda, that aren't tied to what they're doing for you or what they're giving you? When you believe in his potential, you don't just make him feel like he's doing it for you. You make him feel like he's doing it for himself, and that changes everything. The best thing you can do is believe in him when it's hard, when he's unsure. When the road ahead looks like a mess, that's when your words of encouragement matter most. Speak life into him in those moments. Tell him you see the greatness even if he doesn't see it yet. That's when he'll push himself further. That's when he'll take risks. That's when he'll risk it all to make his dreams come true, because he knows you're right there with him, cheering him on, holding space for his growth. When you believe in his future, you also start to believe in your future together. You start to manifest what's possible, and that shared vision becomes the foundation of your relationship. He doesn't just want to make you proud, he wants to make the future you've both dreamed about real. And here's the kicker: when a man feels your belief in him, it isn't just a boost, it's a challenge. He wants to rise to the occasion because you've already shown him what he's capable of. He doesn't want to disappoint the woman who sees him as more than what he's been. He wants to prove he can be all that and more. And that's when he risks it all. Not for the reward, but because he believes in himself more because of your belief in him. So speak it. Speak it often. Speak it with conviction. When you believe in his potential out loud, you're not just lifting his spirit, you're changing the game. And that belief, that's what will make him chase the life you both deserve. Here's the bottom line: men will risk everything for a woman who is grounded in herself. A woman who's not waiting to be saved, but who's already saving herself. A woman who knows her worth and doesn't apologize for it. That's who he'll fight for. That's who he'll elevate. Because in a world full of uncertainty, a woman who stands firmly in her power, she's magnetic, she's unstoppable. When you show up as your most authentic self, when you believe in his potential out loud, when you support him without losing your own identity, when you challenge him without chasing him, that's when you become a force. Not just for him, but for the whole world. You give him space to show up as the best version of himself, and in return, he will give you everything he's got. Not because you demand it, but because he wants to, because he sees you as someone who brings out the best in him. And let's be real, men want to feel like heroes, but that doesn't mean they need to be rescued. It means they need someone who believes in them even when they can't see the path forward. Someone who will hold their hand through the storm, but also give them the space to fight their own battles. That belief in him. It's the catalyst that will make him risk it all for the love, the life, and the future you're building together. But here's the truth that we don't always want to hear. It's not about you needing him to prove anything to you. It's about both of you rising together. When you feel good, when you walk with purpose, when you believe in his potential, and when you give him the peace and space to show up for you, you both elevate, you both rise to the challenge, and together you create something that's bigger than either of you could have alone. So if you want a man to risk it all for you, stop waiting for permission to be your full self. Don't settle for less than what you deserve. Believe in your worth. Speak your truth. And watch as he risks everything, not for a woman who needs him, but for the woman who knows that together they can conquer anything.